In response to my video about Chevron firing 9,000 people, 20% of its workforce, after 6 weeks after sending $27 billion to their shareholders, the question is, do they need the people? They must think they don't need the people moving forward. Yes or no? Well, they apparently needed the people when they were sending $65 billion a year back to their shareholders. And they're literally saying, this is the part that gets me. This is the part that really gets me. They're literally admitting that they're firing 9,000 people so they can return another $1 billion back to the shareholders. They're literally saying that out loud. The shareholders who have received $65 billion, they need another one. And that means 9,000 people have to go. That's 9,000 families. This isn't impacting 9,000 people. This is impacting tens of thousands of people. So a few people can get another billion because the 65 billion obviously wasn't enough. Obviously wasn't enough. And so here's how this works, because I used to work for big oil and I know exactly how this works. I've seen this many times. Why I'm not a fan of big oil. It's not whether they need the people or not. It's whether they can get the rest of the people to do the work of two people. Right? Right. If you want to keep your job desperately enough, you'll do whatever you have to do. And if that means doing the job of two people, that's just what you'll do, right? And this is where the lines intersect of capitalism and just basic humanity, right? This is where capitalism doesn't give a shit about people. This is where people become percentages. You just change the spelling. Instead of spelling out people, just write the word percentage, because that's what a person is to a company like Chevron. They didn't get that big. They didn't get that big by not fucking people over. Do you understand that? Do you understand that? That's how they got to be that big in the first place. So this is no shocker. It's just a bit of a shock that they would do it 6 weeks after announcing record return to investors of $27 billion. Oh, by the way, that's just 1 year. That's just 1 year. But you know what? Next year, it's got to be 28. It's got to be 28 next year, because if it's not 28 billion next year, then the company is failing. That's how corporations look at numbers. If this number isn't larger than the last number, then you failed. Then you failed. And the fact that that is entirely unsustainable in any business doesn't matter. So to your point, need is a relative term. Need is a relative term. If they don't need them now, they didn't need them 6 weeks ago or 6 months ago, did they? No. Thanks.